Hey guys, it is Monday here in West Virginia, so it's time for us to do our usual Mopar Monday. And today it's kind of Mopar Monday plus a couple extras. What I have for you guys today are some of the old vintage racing and drag strip demons from Hot Wheels from back in 2010, 2011 era. So I got lucky this last week and found some for sale on Facebook, and I jumped on them because these are some of the cleanest examples of the ones that had paint issues that I've ever seen. I don't know if you guys heard or know about uh, the Dodge Darts and the Pro Stock Challengers, also the Smoky Unique 66 Chevelle. There's also a couple of other ones. I think even the Grumpy Vega and maybe even the Dusters. Not so much the Dusters and Grumpy Vega, but definitely the Dodge Darts, the Pro Stock Challengers, and the 66 Chevelle had some major paint issues on the driver's side. It wasn't really bad paint. I think they carded them when they were still wet. The tampo was wet, and they went ahead and packaged these cars on the assembly line. So when you open them, the paint stuck to the card, and there's like a lot of pieces missing on the tampos of the driver's side. If you find these cars loose, you see them, and there's like big blotches of the tampo missing. And it's not really because somebody abused the car or something like that. It was because of the packaging situation with Mattel. They packaged them too soon. But some of them did open up with very minor issues, if maybe not any issues, but they're very, very rare. That's why I tell people if you have them carded, just leave them carded because they're going to be more valuable carded. Because if you crack it, you're going to chance it that most likely, probably 95% sure, you're going to have some paint issues on the other side of the car that is not exposed in the blister pack. So anyways, the ones that I have here, I'll show you. So this is Dick Landy's Hemi Dart from the Vintage Racing series. And this is the way it is in the blister pack. You see it looks awesome, but when you turn it around, usually there's big pieces missing on the door and on the quarter. This one here is a beautiful example. You could see that there was a small issue here where they did touch up, but that's really not that major at all. Usually there's big pieces missing on the quarter and the stripes in the back, on the door, on the fender, and this thing is almost perfect. So this is a very, very rare find. To find one loose that is this clean. So I was very, very happy to finally find a really nice, clean one, especially since I have a few Dick Landy race cars in my collection already. This is kind of like the icing on the cake. I hope to find the Challenger from the vintage series with no paint issues on it, but that's going to be a tough one. Johnny Lightning, however, has a 70 or 71 Pro Stock Challenger from Dick Landy that is pretty nice, but it's done in the rarer paint scheme. It's kind of a blue, red, and white stripe a paint job. I don't know if it was only run for certain events or if it was just a show car. The more common one is painted up kind of like this, except it's white with the red insert, whatever you want to call it, panel on the side, and it has some blue on the roof. That's the more common one, and that's the one from the Vintage Racing series. So I was very happy to find this with hardly any issues. Now, the next one is the other one, the Drag On Lady. And this usually was really bad on the driver's side. This one has not been touched up. This is its issues. As you can see, just barely a little bit of the black on the Dodge is gone, which could be easily touched up. There's a little spot on the red of the R and then the white around the front fender. The only thing I'm going to probably try to touch up is that little spot here. I'm going to try to get some white, like pearl, and put it a little dab there. On the back fender well, you could see it was a little bit, and then the B and M, the red, is coming off. So The person that owned these before me, he opened them right away. And thankfully he did, because I guess he got them out of there quick enough where it did not stick so bad. So very happy to get this one. I've never seen one loose that was this clean, honestly. And then same thing with the Motown Shaker, which is the same casting as the Dick Landy one, and from the same box actually, and it had some issues. This one also did, and usually it was pretty bad. This one's not so bad. As you can see, a little bit of the Edelbrock Tampo up here on the front fender, and then a little bit of the green on the rear quarter above the rear wheel opening, because those were the two areas that were closest to the card and was rubbing the card, so they stuck. But yeah, this is actually a pretty nice example, and there's a little spot on the door there, but honestly, this is super clean compared to any of the other loose ones that I've seen. And then we have the others, which really didn't have any issues. This one did, and I touched it up, the Mopar Missile, and I've really never seen the Mopar Missile with any issues, but this one did have a couple little spots on the front fender wheel well edge, and I touched it up with a black Sharpie, like fine point. Can't really tell. Sometimes the Sharpie has like a purplish tint to it in certain light, so you may be able to see it. And then there's a little bit of gold rub off there, but not much. As I said, this car very rarely has any issues with it when you open them. And then same thing with the Sox and Martin Duster. You may find a little bit around the wheel wells that have stuck to the card or rubbed off on the card when you open it, but these usually don't give you too much of an issue. And then that is it for the vintage racing Mopars. I do have one Mopar from the early Dragstrip Demons set up, and this is the, I think it was Bill Styles, something like that. 68 Plymouth Barracuda Hemi. And this is a really cool casting. I would love to get the Sox and Martin one again. The Sox and Martin one actually has two wheel variants. This wheel variant on the Sox and Martin is the most, I would say, realistic. The other variant is the big, like, 5-spokes that I really do like on super treasure hunts, but not on a pro stock car, or super stock, I should say. But yeah, this is a really nice car to have as a Mopar fan. So that is it for the Mopar Monday. Now, these other ones I'm going to show you, there's two Chevys from the Vintage Racing Series. The first one is this guy here, the Grumpy's Toy. As you can see, a little bit of the white stuck to the package on the front fender, but really nothing on the back fender. Sometimes these tampos are gone, but the fender flared out a lot on the lips of the Vega, so the actual side tampos did not make contact with the card so much. So usually you can get away pretty lucky with the Vega and just have a little bit kind of like that and get it touched up. The big issues were those Darts and Pro Stock Challengers and the Smoky Unique Chevelle, which is a big money car, and it's a shame that when you open it, a lot of that black does come off, but it is fixable. You can touch it up without having it noticed so much. And this here is, I forget who this is. Maybe it's Dave Strickler again. I have his AWB 65 Coronet as his Pro Stock 70 Camaro. And this is a decent looking casting. A little bit small, but still a cool casting. This is from the Vintage Racing Series, and this one never really had any tampo issues that much. So it was another one that was in that group of Vintage Racing and Dragstrip Demons that I had to have. So this is the last one of the Vintage Racing. So we picked up two, 2, 4, 6, 7 Vintage Racing cars. These last three are from Dragstrip Demons. And here is the altered of Mike Zarnock. This one's a little different than his real car. His real car was small block Chevy powered. This is Hemi powered. And then his car was based on a 27T. This is actually based on a Bantam. So pretty cool though. Very accurate for the Bantam altereds. So really nice casting from Hot Wheels. And they did another one in the Dragstrip Demons. These are the only two from Dragstrip Demons. This is Pure Heaven, which was on the contrary to Pure Hell. I wish they would have released Pure Hell again in this series, but they didn't, unfortunately. But yeah, cool to have both of these. But these actually may come up for sale. That's what I was going to say. I'm going to hang on to my Mopars, obviously, and then the Pro Stock Vega. But all the other ones, I would be willing to get rid of. The Pro Stock Camaro, and the two fuel alters, and then this guy here. The Mariposa Mauler. And this is a 64 Ford Thunderbolt from the Dragstrip Demon series, based on a real super stock car from the early 60s. Really cool casting. Pretty cool piece. So, really, if you're going to see the ones that would be disposable for me, it would be these four here, and maybe even the Pro Stock Challenger, because I don't think this is based off a real race car. I can't find any pictures of the real one. So, and anyways, there's no driver's name or anything like that. That's why I may be willing to part with it, because I'm trying to stick with real deal Mopar race cars if I do get any drag cars. So it would be these five that may come up for sale. And yeah, probably around 10 to 15 bucks each, pretty much what I paid for them, just trying to get my money back out of them. But the Mopars and the Vega, well, these 5 Mopars I would keep, and the Vega. So yeah, you're going to be looking at those 5. The Challenger, Thunderbolt, 2 fuel alters, and the Camaro. So anyways, guys, that is it for our Mopar Pro Stock, Super Stock Monday. So anyways, we'll be back again maybe tomorrow or Wednesday. It's going to be a 2 for Tuesday video with Johnny Lightning, but I don't know if I can make it by tomorrow or Wednesday, but we'll bring it to you guys. So thanks for watching, and I will talk to you in a day or two.